Hello class, welcome to another tutorial. This one happens to be for assignment 9, which is worth 30 points. What you see now is the rubric for the assignment. It is a two-part assignment where you need to turn in two files, both XCF files. Title 1, Word Graphic, and the other one, assignment_9. They're both pretty similar. You can see the rubric here, what you have to have in each one of them. And again, they're very similar. Follow the directions and just basically do two different words and you should be fine. So to start, you're going to want to do File, New Image, and use a template. Let's use the 640 by 480 template and keep it at just 72 points per inch will be fine. On the foreground, make sure the foreground color is black and the background color is white, like I have here. If not, you can flip the back and forth so that they are. Next thing we're going to do is click the text tool. So text tool is the letter A in your toolbox. Pick the font size you'd like. I recommend up to about 60. So just run that up and size there. Then also pick which font style you'd like. In this one I'm going to use the serif bold italic. Once you have that chosen, then type the word over here in your box. This text editor box will come up. I'm going to do fireworks for this one. And once you've clicked it, then hit close. Next, you're going to want to scale that layer. So we're going to make that bigger. As long as we're still on that fireworks layer, we can go over to the scale, which is this tool right here. Click on it and we can draw that fireworks out to a much larger size. And I'm just dragging the corners to whatever size I want that to be. Then to lock that in, hit the scale, which this little window happened to be outside the recording. Click scale and that's going to lock that down. Next, you're going to want to rotate it just a little bit, so use the rotate tool, which happens to be this one. Grab a corner, rotate a little bit, and then again hit the rotate button to actually lock it down and rotate it. Now it also recommends to shear it a little bit, so find your shear tool and then rotate your words a little bit, something like that, to your liking, and then also click shear. So now we have it scaled, rotated, and sheared. Next thing you're going to do is add a filter to it, and you're going to bend the word a little bit. So go to your filter, distorts, and curve bend. This window is going to come up and give you an opportunity to change it in a couple places. So you might do something like this to really raise it up. If you want to see what it's doing, click the automatic preview so you can see what you're doing to the word as you're working with it. When you get it to the shape that you kind of like, then hit OK, and it will go ahead and progress that into that. So now we have our word pretty much in the shape that we're going to make it. Next thing you're going to do is open a image background. For this particular word, there happens to be a good background in your resource folder. So go to Open. Mine happens to be on my Lexar drive, which I'll click on that. Profiles, you should be on your C drive. Profiles, your name, GIMP resources, project 9, and I believe this one happens to be image 3 actually, is a firework picture. So I'm going to open that, and it's just going to create another layer. Looks something like that. So now I have actually another picture open. I'm going to Control A, so I copy all or select all of that. Then I'm going to Control C, so I copy all of that. And then I'm going to minimize that so it's no longer in my way. On this one, I'm going to Control V, which pastes it into a new layer. You can see up here at the top, I have that layer selected there. If you go down to the bottom left corner, it's going to say Create New Layer, and now it's basically locked that layer down. Make sure your image is on top of the word, which mine happens to be the top one there, and that your word, fireworks, is below that. You're going to also want to scale this image so that it fits the size. This one happens to fit fairly well, but we can still go in and scale it if I click this, and I can actually run this up and down by watching these numbers and bring it in so that the picture is just the size instead of running off the edges. So I'm going to scale it a little bit. I don't want to go any more because I can see I'm smaller than that, so I've got it to about size. I'm going to hit scale, and then we'll scale it to fit that. We're going to click the eye next to the background layer, so we kind of hide that layer. Now you still have the fireworks layer. Click on the word layer, so go down, click on it, select by color, so I'll go to the color select tool, and then I'm going to just click on this, and it's going to collect the black or whatever color you happen to have your letters, and it's going to select the entire word. So then I can go ahead and make a mask of this layer. I've created my selection, but now I want to go ahead and just click on this layer above and create my mask. You can see how that selection went to that layer. If I go to layer, mask, add mask, a little window comes up, and you want to have this on selection and make sure the invert mask is not selected. Then go ahead and click add. You can see we've created a mask over there on that side. Before we go any further, make sure you go ahead and select none so that nothing is selected anymore, and we just have that fireworks shape on the letters like so. Now if you want to make sure that you have your word over the part of the background image that you would like, go ahead and click on the eye so this layer is hidden. Click on the pasted layer and make sure you go to the move tool, and you can move this to where you get, like maybe I want this yellow right in the S, and I can move that to where that fits just right there. So then I can go ahead and click that one back off, go to my word there, and I can also move this right back up so it's into the same place that it previously was. So now I've got it kind of adjusted to where I wanted it. Before we go any further, next thing you're going to want to do is duplicate this layer. So if you right click on it, you can hit duplicate layer, and it's going to create another layer for you. Go ahead and double click that and change the name of that to like underneath layer. So type that in so that you know what it is, and then hit the return so it locks that in. Next, make sure that you rearrange your layers so the underneath layer is actually below that layer. Then once you have that lowered, you can also get rid of that mask. So then we'll go to make sure the image is there, click on it, and then delete the layer mask. So we'll go to layer, mask, delete layer mask. Next, let's hide these two layers. So we just have this one up, and we're going to select this again. So use your color select tool, select on it, and this time we're going to grow the selection. So go to select, grow. We're going to grow this by 20 pixels. So say type in 20 and click OK. Next we want to create that mask. So we're going to go ahead and go to that layer, click it, the underneath layer, so that it's the one that's going to create the mask. And let's go to click your layer mask. So go to layer, mask, and add mask. Again, go to selection, make sure invert's not done, and click add. So now we've got a bigger selection like so. Once you've got it at this point, let's go ahead and do select none. In the layers list, click the image layer to select it. And make sure all of these are pretty much selected over here, so they're all unhidden. Click the layer menu, then click mask. We're going to go to the top one, click layer menu, mask, and then apply a layer mask. This combines the image and the mask. Then let's go to the script foo. In the script foo layer effects, let's use the stroke or add border. It'll bring up a dialog box such as this. In the stroke field, type 5. So I'm going to go up to 5 for border size. Also click into the color to a color that you may want. I'm looking at this picture thinking maybe a yellow might work the best. Say OK for that, for your color size. Then in the border position, drop down, go ahead and click with an inner border. And we're going to also take the opacity to about between 50 and 95. So let's go about 75 on that. Click OK. That's going to create that type of border for your words. Make sure that your pasted layer there is selected, or a layer similar to that you may have named. And next we're going to add an outer glow. So go to your script foo with that layer clicked. Go to the outer glow. A window is going to pop up. Choose your color that you would like to make it. I'm going to go with this more richer yellow. Say OK there. And your size, anything between 3 and 10. I'm going to make this one 4, this one 8. And the opacity at about 69, 70. And say OK. You're going to create that outer glow like so. At any point you don't like what you've come up with, you can always use the Control+Z and back up and redo what you've done to create more like you may want. Let's do one last thing. Let's create a background color. I happen to have black here. That'll work fine. Let's take the paint bucket and fill in that background color. So now that we have the entire background that color. That completes project 9. Save this as an XCF file and send it to me for credit.